Funny driving around Griffith with nobody here.
Yeah, right. Do you think
Quiet.
Parking lot's all empty.
we're working?
Yeah, thanks everyone for adjusting your schedules.
So I guess, well, it's 8:02. We'll call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. Four of us here. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Do we have a need to go into executive session for anything?
Not from staff
Okay.
perspective.
Board? Okay. We have minutes from May 15th. We have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Thank you, James.
Second.
Dave, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Here. Rachel, we missed you last one,
No way. Feels like it's been forever.
so you get a half an hour for that.
No. We're gonna do about 2 minutes. So your cash increased $216,000 since. Directly due to the flex days pilot payment came in from Edge. That's being carved up to return predictions and the payment has been sent out since June 2nd, I believe. A new commitment fee for Bartel machinery was received and the Sylvania refinancing, mortgage refinancing project closed as well. Net income ending May 31st was $174,000 and all of the pilot payments are up to date on payment. So it's really all I have to do, guys.
Questions for Rachel? No? So we do have, I'm just gonna jump off the agenda for a second. We have talked in the past about, funding for, economic development in the community with some of our, funds and investments that we have. And, I know the, local development corporation will be, on that agenda acting on a potential, ask. And we have wanted to use some of our money in a wise manner to help with jobs and economic development. So, just wanted to bring that up and have a conversation about, how we can move, money from the IDA to the local development corporation. In order to, fund some projects that might be coming up in the future that'll help us with training and employment retention and things like that. So, I don't know if anyone on the board has any thoughts, or Linda, did you want to jump in? You look like you were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, I just want to say it seems like that should be a very easy question, but unfortunately, the laws in New York prohibit IDAs from lending money or granting money. So it's always been a challenge to determine what the IDA could do with its money, because the state really provides no guidance. We've come up with a proposal that we think might work, and that is to do some type of fee splitting arrangement at the outset of a project with the LDC. Where the guys in Syracuse are taking a look at that. We've had them look at other ways to get money from the IDA to the LDC before, and nothing was totally clear. We're thinking that this might be something that we could sign off on. So we're taking a look at that. The other things that IDAs use is some type of service agreement where the LDC provides a service. I think everybody knows it's a sham, but that's what has been out there.
So that agreement that you guys had with the LDC for the Fulton County Center Regional Growth did specify, I believe, 2 years worth of recurring $75,000 payments. So 2 of them, we've only made 1. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody else remembers that, but I could have swore it said at least 2 payments. So there's 75 in there.
So, but that wasn't for that specific project?
Didn't specify that for specific project. So I'd have to reread it, but I'm just recalling from memory, you might have an in there.
Yeah, I think the expertise project was the only one identified as a potential, something that was specifically requested that we participate in. So again, I'd have to go back and look at the actual language there, but that's the only one that was, that was just sort of asked at the time. But yeah, I think going forward, if there was the appetite by the agency members, we would want to make it a little more broad and make it so that funding could go towards, say, workforce development across a number of industry sectors and occupations, advanced manufacturing or all manufacturing. Healthcare would be a big one, knowing the needs across the community in healthcare. Construction trades, you know, a lot of the growth that we're expecting, we need to be able to support those occupations as well. Those just off the top of my head, but probably some of the more urgent ones.
Linda, is there a way to? I know that we've looked at a couple areas, housing and childcare, pretty closely, and most of those areas, or at least childcare, is focused on not-for-profit agencies, which obviously forces us into the LDC area.
Right.
But is there a way that the IDA can support the capital needs of those types of things, particularly if they're leasing property from a business or from a not-for-profit, and help them in building out space that ultimately is not.
The IDA or the LDC?
The IDA supporting in some way the build out of business property, either by low interest loans or some sort of thing. I don't know, but helping them build out so that the childcare people can come in and take over a place that's really all fitted out for them.
Dave, the short answer is the IDA can't do it, but if we can get the money into the LDC can do it.
Yeah, I think the LDC have a problem doing it, but you're right. And we've always had that kind of issue when they took the not-for-profit responsibility away from the IDAs.
Right.
They did that, we didn't do it.
Well, I thank you, Linda, for doing that, because this is important for us down the road, you know, in the coming year or two. So.
I know.
yeah.
I wish I had better answers. It's very frustrating because, you know, clearly the IDA can charge the fees, but then there's like nothing is not allowed to do anything with them. So
Is it that it's silent on it, or it's just?
no, it prohibits it.
It prohibits it. Okay.
Yep.
Because I thought you said that there wasn't much guidance.
Yeah,
And I took that to mean that they're silent on it, but not. that's
No.
not the case.
it is
Okay.
it's a constitutional prohibition. The IDAs can't. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're trying.
All right. Well, it would be a shame not to be able to use it, so.
So we couldn't make a request to our
Okay.
legislators for changing the law on the IDAs to allow specific areas to grant funds for economic development in low and high need areas? Would
I
that
mean,
be
it's
something?
possible. I think that would be something that the EDC would be, you know, the consortium of a lot of different IDAs,
Yeah,
but that's
Okay.
worth pursuing. Yeah, we should
So-
call, is Jen still over there?
Jen?
Waters. Didn't she go?
No, she's with Empire State Development.
Oh,
But I mean, we have a good relationship with Ryan Silva and some of the other folks at EDC,
Yeah.
so we could still.
that would be something I'm sure the IDA would support. I don't think
yeah,
we-
that's worth a talk with Ryan.
Agree. Okay, so that's good conversation, more to come, because like I said, this is important for us. We have the funds and we want to use them to help the community and economic development and jobs and all that. So there's a lot going on. I want to support that. So great. Okay. Item number 4 on the agenda, consider a final authorizing resolution relating to the Griffith Local Development Corporation Building 770, 774 facility pilot extension request, approving financial assistance in the form of continuing the abatement of real property tax for a period of 10 years, valued at approximately $510,536, which financial assistance is a deviation from the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, and authorizing the form and execution of related documents subject to council review. Was a public hearing on June 4th, of which there were no attendees. So, anything else to add?
Nope, just as a reminder, this is to support shifting of a few businesses on the Griffiths Park, so to enable expansion. And so, more jobs up here at the park and supporting what's going on in the Air Force Research Lab. So I just want to be supportive of those businesses.
Definitely. Okay, can I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Dave, thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. Item number 5, consider a final authorizing resolution relating to the Bartell Machinery Systems LLC facility expansion, granting preliminary approval for financial assistance in the form of exemptions from sales tax valued at $350,000 and abatement of real property tax on the increase in assessment resulting from the project for a period of 10 years valued at approximately $119,521, which financial assistance is consistent with the agency's uniform tax exemption policy, and authorizing the form and execution of related documents subject to council review. Again, another public hearing on June 10th, last week, and we did have attendance for that meeting, for a change, which was nice, I guess. So, anything to add on this project before we vote?
Those who were in attendance were supportive of the project. They all represented the town of Lee. But otherwise, the business is ready to go. They're going to get going immediately.
Great. Continued growth for Bartell, which is great.
Wonderful. Good to see.
Yeah, sure is. Have a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Dave, thank you. Second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Frank. Only 4 of us here. Yes, sir. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. That's it for the agenda. Old business. What do we got, Tim? Or anybody? Mark?
I don't really have anything. I mean, we want to talk about.
How about an update on the good news we heard this week?
Sure. Me or you?
Go ahead. A little closer to it.
All right. So we had some positive traction with Danfoss Power Solutions. The company announced on Tuesday that they'd be bringing back jobs to the operations at the Quad C. It's going to be a ramp schedule, so they'll be close to 300 by the end of 2027. They'll start the hiring immediately, and we'll be working with our workforce partners just to make sure that all those positions can be filled as quickly as possible. This is more of the data center type industry, so they're doing a lot of different operations than they did previously as Semicron Danfoss. So more so out of the EV industry and more so into the AI data center ecosystem, if you will.
But to clarify, just components that go within.
Components that goes within it. So there's like liquid cooling systems and some kind of brackets and things like that. So yeah, like I said, machining type tooling. They will use some of the warehouse space at the Flex Space building. And essentially that covers it. One thing to note, I know the partners at SUNY Poly just wanted to reemphasize that it is on their campus and that we would continue to work with them moving forward on ways in which they can integrate more of the educational, space as part of that operations at Quad City. So.
And what are the immediate positions that they're looking for?
So I think it was broken up. Engineering, I think, is the large scale component of it, but they do need some sort of those technicians to kind of make more of these like metal fixtures. So they will look towards, some of the employees that were at Semicron that were, I guess, laid off is the appropriate term. So they scaled down their production, they'll ramp it back up, and they will move some of the assembly pieces around a little bit within the clean room space. So we're still trying to get a little bit more perspective from the company as to how much of that space they're utilizing and where they'll be positioned. But I think, again, this is welcome news because the facility was obviously not really being fully utilized. And we met with the company, I would say, around May of this year, and they gave us that this is their roadmap. So it's nice to see that they really executed very well to get this where it is today.
And I thought I heard recently that Wolf Speed has also been kind of, ramping up a little bit. I mean.
A little bit. They're still at around 500 employees. We've been in talks with a lot of their newer corporate folks. They've had, you know, a new CEO, new COO. They've brought on more staff, and we've been in communication both with ESD on, you know, some future planning. Jen Waters has been very good at keeping in touch with Adam Milton and was one of the key contacts that was at Wolf Speed, and he still comes up, I think, once a month or so, just to kind of, you know, do an inventory of where they're at. Utilization, I think they're around probably 20 to 25% of the total space. But so far, we're hearing good things. You know, as mentioned previously, you know, they have also done an adjustment as far as where they were within the EV space. So they are moving into some other applications, battery storage being one of them, and some UAS operations as well. And then, you know, also kind of similar to Danfoss and the AI data center ecosystem, I guess. So all good there. And once again, we're actively engaged on a prospect that's looking at the second parcel beneath Wolf Speed. So we'll be continuing to follow that lead and hopefully get some updates to you guys probably by the next meeting. So fingers crossed.
Funny how things change so quickly from chips for electric cars
Yeah.
to data centers. Right?
Yeah. So we're kind of chasing.
See an opportunity, that's for sure.
Wonder in 2 years when it'll be like that.
Yeah. Do any of the people you talk to raise questions about whether we have enough people for them or whether we have enough housing for them?
I
Do those
think
issues ever come up?
I think the workforce portion of it definitely comes up first and foremost. But when we had what we call Project Flash toward the site recently, you know, housing also became part of it. So we did talk about the housing study. We did talk about the growth that we're seeing across upstate, and then what will, you know, kind of sort of be the trickle effect from Micron's ramp to our ramp. So yeah, it's definitely a conversation, I think, as far as like solutions and ways that we get there, that's still ongoing. So.
Anything else for open?
Nope.
Okay, our next meeting is July 17th. We are gonna be sending out a change for the September meeting, because that's on September 18th.
I won't be in attendance for the July meeting.
And you know what, we may, it's on the schedule, but unless we have anything pressing, we may decide at the last minute to.
I'm
cancel it.
certainly able to conference in from hospital. I just don't think.
We won't need you to do that.
No, wait.
Maybe we'll cancel.
Sounds like an excuse to me, but all right.
Always something, in a week, but you know, we'll take it.
That sounds made up. But okay.
Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, because I know that 3 of us have a conflict in September, so.
July 17th, huh? I don't have a conflict, but I have to take my daughter to a Benson Boone concert the night before. They start until 8 p.m. in Albany. So.
Yeah, we're a little better.
I don't think you can even compare it to, quite frankly. She can be in a bed, relaxing most of the time. I have to drive. I gotta drive. I gotta listen to something I don't want to listen to. There's.
It's gonna be super
You know,
cool too.
I think you got me beat.
Okay, so we'll see how next, you know, if we have some, you know, stuff going on. We're not gonna drag everybody up here.
More excited.
Not much, but-
That's possible.
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Thank you, James. Second, Erica. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay. We will now, anybody need a break before we get to the local development meeting? We'll open the meeting of the Oneida County Local Development Corporation meeting.
I'll maybe reading on Jones.
Do we have a need for executive session?
No.
We have minutes for May 15th. Can I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Thank you, James. Second, Dave. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, Rachel.
So your overall cash on hand has increased $26,000, and that's just due to the closure of that CD that you guys had. Cash on hand balance year to date is $230,000. Fund balance has decreased 20% over the last 12 months. With no new bond revenue other than the one we saw earlier in February, the year-to-date net loss is $10,000.
Any questions? For Rachel?
Not a very.
No spurts with that. Okay, item number 4, consider a request from Rome Health to utilize healthcare workforce training funding as we previously offered to other healthcare organizations. So you have the request that was sent in by the president and Marie Ches for medical imaging stabilization. I thought she did a good job of outlining the issue that they're having and the request, which is $150,000.
They are definitely short-staffed.
But that, what's that?
They are definitely short-staffed. They are hurting right now.
Yeah.
Well, I think we had this conversation with MDHS before, when they were planning their staff requirements over Utica and the funding that was generated, or the fees that were generated from the bond issues that the LDC did for Wynn Hospital, were reduced substantially to a fund of $400,000, which would be used for this kind of purpose. And MBHS, so Wynn Hospital used, I think, $150,000 for its funds for staff and physician recruitment and solicitation. And the plan at that time was to have these funds available for medical providers in Oneida County. So there, on paper, there's funds available to help Rome Health for this kind of purpose that were generated, not new funds that are generated, but generated back from when the bond issue was issued to Wynn Hospital. So I think the plan at that point was that there would be about $150,000 for each hospital, and then another $100,000 for other medical care providers that were not-for-profit people. So I think, and I agree with you that I think probably all the hospitals are short-staffed, but Rome particularly, and it's hard to, having lived in Rome all my life, it's hard to attract people to come to a little city like Rome. But I think the idea of if a physician comes here or a nurse comes here, they have the opportunity to work in both hospitals. And so there's employment opportunities from both places. So it's a little easier to attract people when there's just not one place that they have to work at. So I certainly would fully support the request.
Yeah, I thought it was a very creative way to do it. Good use of workforce development funds.
This would come from, to start, Rachel, from our
Cash, yeah.
cash.
So the idea is probably gonna have to help out the LDC when it comes time for regular operating expenses, unless another bond comes in.
Which we've done in the past.
You think we need a motion to do this?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Want me to make the motion?
I would say whoever wants to make the motion is important to make a motion, and I'm not gonna say whether you can or can't. How's that for an action? Make sure that doesn't get on the news. Make sure my answer gets on the news. It's politically correct.
I got it.
You did. And who seconded it, Eric? Okay. Sorry about that. Any other comments or questions on this? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, thank you. I believe that's all we have on the agenda for the LBC, and our next meeting also may be on July 17th. But we'll see. So, okay, if there's nothing else to come before the board, to have a motion to adjourn. Erica, thank you. Second, James, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. All right, thank you, everyone.
All right.